I feel I'm closer to finding him than at any other time. His disguise is clever. Very clever. But somehow, in the back of my mind, the clues are coming together. I'll find him. I'm sure of it.
Yes.
Call for you on 613, Commissioner.
Thank you. Hello?
We tried red, yellow, and green, buddy. Don't we have any colors you like?
Sorry, Commissioner. Don't apologize, officer. I deserved it.
All day, all night, Marianne, down by the seaside, sifting sand. Even little children love Marianne, down by the seashore, sifting sand. Hi, I found the sheet music on the organ. I thought you wanted me to learn it, and I aimed to please. You didn't put the sheet music on the organ.
No, I didn't. And I've been hearing this song all day. Accordionists, ice cream vendors. Now I come home and find it on the organ.
What is it? Some sort of a message? A warning? Why are you laughing?
Marion!
Who's she?
George Marion. I trained with him in intelligence. We served overseas together. You get it? Marion, Marianne.
Oh, I get it.
Down by the seaside, sifting sand. Is there a Sands Hotel by the seaside anywhere?
The Sands Inn in North Beach.
Oh, yeah.
How quickly one forgets.
Oh, yeah, that $5 extra for the waterbed.
Mr. Romance strikes again. Mac, why doesn't George Marion just call you on the telephone when he comes into town?
It's not his style. Any game, prank, gimmick, that's what got him into intelligence in the first place. If it was your birthday, he couldn't just say happy birthday. No, he had to send you to a Chinese restaurant. You got your message in a fortune cookie. George Marion, please. You don't?
Try Smith. They stay there all the time.
This is Commissioner McMillan. Do you have a message for me? All right, thank you. He's registered as Maroney. That's an anagram of Marion. The message was, be there when the band starts playing. I want to be there when the band starts playing.
Better be ready at half-past 8. All right, now the one on the left is George Marion. Tell me about the others.
Okay. Next to him is Mark Erickson. He was our unit commander. Still in the organization. And this dashing gentleman is young Stuart McMillan, who later became a distinguished public servant. The man with his hand on my shoulder is Miles Eisner, killed on a mission.
Oh, that's terrible. I bet you were all very close, weren't
Yep,
you?
we were. Time to go.
You know, I'm looking forward to meeting George Marion.
Good.
You can tell me about that woman in the photograph.
Woman.
You know, the one in the center with your arm around her.
Oh, come on, Sally. You know how those things are.
Yes, I was hoping maybe not in this case.
That woman is Elena Standish. She was a real professional.
Professional what?
Spy, of course.
Maybe you've forgotten the secret knock.
No.
George? Mac?
Is he Mac?
Call headquarters.
Nobody saw or heard anything, sir. Everything was in its proper place. Except the blind from the window. It was pulled out of the window and, oh yes, there was a pen found on the floor near the night table.
Dry.
How'd you know?
You don't throw a pen on the floor if it works. What was the cause of death? Poison?
Yes, sir. The medical examiner thinks it was cyanide.
Uh-huh.
You may have noticed the bitter almond smell.
Yeah.
The time of death was about 7:30, around an hour and a half before you got here. And, he thinks, he's going to run some tests. Also tests on some allergy capsules that were found on the floor nearby. And there was some sort of funny stuff on his shoes, like he'd been walking in sawdust. They'll run tests on that, too, of course.
Good. As soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
Mac, the man on the balcony, the one with the mustache.
Go ahead and say it. You mean the one who clobbered me?
If George Marion was dead 1 hour before we got there, then why would the man be on the balcony? A killer just doesn't hang around like that.
He might. On the other hand, who said he was the killer?
you're not back already?
Mildred, where are you going?
Oh, I want you to find my message and figure it out for yourself.
What message? Where?
Look in the organ.
On the organ.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dry bones.
Got it?
No.
Them bones, them dry bones, them bones, them dry bones. Got it now?
No.
I get it. Mildred's gonna try again, right?
Right.
Try what again?
I'm going on the wagon, Commissioner. That's why I'm going to my sister's house. You always say I'm so huffy when I try and dry out around here.
Dry bones. Dry bones. I get it.
Oh, wonderful. Did anybody ever tell you you're kind of slow at deciphering messages?
I'll work on it. Meanwhile, good luck. I hope you make it all the way this time.
All the way is the only way I go, Commissioner.
May I help you with your luggage?
Not for a moment. Thank you so much.
Beat it.
Hello? Hi, Sergeant. Yeah, just a second. It's here. Sergeant Enright.
Yeah.
Commissioner, it's Enright. We found a false bottom on the dead man's valise. I think you'd better come over here and have a look at it.
I'll be right there.
Right.
I feel I'm closer to finding him than at any other time. His disguise is clever. Very clever. But somehow, in the back of my mind, the clues are coming together. I'll find him. I'm sure of it.
I don't get it, sir. Find who?
I don't know.
Well, it's strange that he didn't name the man, isn't it?
Before or after he was poisoned?
Well, when he made the report. I wasn't even thinking about after.
When he made the report, he assumed his superior would know who he was talking about. But after he was poisoned, why didn't he name the man?
Well, look. The briefcase containing the message was locked in the closet. Now, he knew that he didn't have time to unlock the closet, take out the briefcase.
So he went for a pen, which was closest.
Yeah, but that pen was dry.
Right. But he died in a chair at that end of the room, and the closet was at that end of the room.
Well, what difference does that make?
Well, if he went for a chair instead of a closet, he was trying to tell me something.
How come you're not talking, Mac? You're always talking and brushing my teeth. Thinking, huh? What are you thinking about?
Huh? Oh. Suppose when George Marion grabbed that blind, he was sending me a message. Look, he's alone. He feels the cyanide, knows he's been poisoned, knows I'm on my way.
Well, he could write it down.
Maybe he did. Maybe he grabbed a pen, didn't work. Then with his dying breath, he pulls down that vine.
But what does that mean, a Venetian blind? Man, could a blind man have done it? You said that accordionist was blind.
Of course. A Venetian blind.
A Venetian blind?
Venice.
Venice, Italy. Venice, California.
No. A man's name. Marion was naming his murderer. Venice. Venice.
It's Venice!
Come, Miles!
Stay on, Mac!
Miles!
staging her.
You saw him, Elena. I can't believe it.
I won't believe it.
Venice.
Well, it's not really all right. I mean, you were shouting Elena.
I gotta find her.
That must have been some dream.
I was dreaming about a man named Miles Eisner. He was killed, betrayed by Venice. So were so many others. Elena Standish had worked with him. She's the only one who could identify him. Don't you see? Venice isn't dead. Not if he killed George Marion. Marion found him. So Venice killed George Marion. And Elena isn't safe as long as Venice is alive. She's in real danger.
Would you mind calling her Standish?
She's got to be warned. If I can find her.
No, there is no Elena Standish. There never has been an Elena Standish in intelligence. But she does exist. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Well, when will the chief of personnel be in?
He'll be in about an hour.
You told me that an hour ago.
Well, he'll be here in an hour.
All right. When he comes in, will you have him call me, please? Thank you, Colonel. And if you ever come to San Francisco, watch out where you park your car.
I'm sorry, sir. Nothing. I've checked with every known intelligence unit, and according to them, former agent Elena Standish never even existed.
Well, we'll just have to find her ourselves. She's beautiful, brunette, and foreign-born.
That's not much to go on. Oh, I've had blow-ups made of that old picture of her, but...
Good. I'll give you some more. She loves mountains, she loves big dogs, she loves to paint, and I suspect she lives alone. Check with the police in all mountainous areas, places like Boulder, Colorado Springs, places like that, Aspen. Find out if anybody fitting that general description moved in the last few years.
When?
Tomorrow.
But, sir...
Late today would be better. What have you found out about the poison?
Well, it was cyanide, all right. Sir, he was an intelligence agent. Don't they sometimes...
Rarely. And only behind enemy lines. Not on a Wednesday in a motel in North Beach.
Well, so far, the allergy capsules are clean, sir.
Well, they could all be clean. Except one, if he took one, couldn't they?
But how would the killer know which pill he...
Well, as long as it's question time, where was Marion yesterday? How did he spend his time in San Francisco? And where did he come from?
Sir, we're working on it.
And also, are we sure that stuff on his shoes was sawdust?
Well, sir...
I know. We're working on it.
Hello? Hi, Sally.
Oh, hi, Mildred. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. But there's something about this time of day, and I just got to missing the two of you.
Oh, that's really sweet. We miss you, too.
Yeah, I could just see the two of you sitting there having a little drinky before dinner.
Well, actually, we were just about to have dinner.
At home? Just the two of you? What'd you fix?
No, Mac's taking me out to dinner. I've got to hurry, Mildred, because he wants me to meet him at the Sands Inn first.
The Sands Inn? Why don't you just go upstairs? It's a lot closer, and you can use your real names up there.
Thank you, Mildred. Keep in touch.
It is just like I told that other fellow. That was the sergeant. He registered as Gregory Moroni. Paid his rent every day in advance. No phone calls, no visitors. That we know of, but we don't check much.
I know. It's part of the casual charm of this place. Did he have any identification as Moroni?
I never checked. Well, he said he was from out of town.
And that settled it?
That and paying cash up front.
Thank you. You've been very frank.
Stewie? Hey, Stewie.
I really don't think we've met.
What? Oh, I get it. Don't worry. If you got lucky, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm Rita.
I'm Sally.
My wife.
Gee, and I was always your sister. Well, hon, whatever you are, take good care of him. They don't make them like Stewie no more.
That's good to hear. Do I detect a note of puzzlement, Stewie, old pal?
I really don't think we've met. Hey.
My wallet. Wait for me in the car.
Your table's waiting, Commissioner. This way, sir.
Sit down, Mac. Rita, we'll both have coffee.
Mark Erickson. Mark Erickson. Well, you could have just telephoned. You didn't have to send an agent to lift my wallet.
Discretion. Better part of valor, as you recall. Mac, I'm speaking for the entire intelligence community. Stop stirring up flack about Elena Standish.
She's got to be warned. She's been out of it for years. Venice will find her.
Venice is dead.
You know better than that. Venice killed George Marion.
Who told you that?
George Marion.
Before he died?
No, after.
You gonna tell me how he did that? No, you're not. All right, Venice is alive. Marion told me 2 months ago.
Well, how?
Now, don't ask me any questions. We'll operate strictly on a need-to-know basis. Marion was on Middle East assignment. He took a side trip to Wadi Al-Faz, a little village just off the Gulf, near Aden. Mean anything to you?
Isn't that where Venice is supposed to be buried?
Marion discovered the grave was a clever fake. He decided that Venice was alive and in the United States. And he wanted him for his very own. He didn't like people who killed his friends.
Neither do I.
So Marion went on detached service to find Venice.
And he found it.
That's it, Mac. Stay out of it.
That's not quite it. Elena Standish.
A, she can take care of herself. B, we take care of her anyway.
Elena doesn't know.
C, she does know. Marion went to her as soon as I gave him his hunting license. Where else could he go for leads?
That's my point exactly. That's where Venice will go next.
We'll handle Venice. You don't think we can do it, do you?
You're not going to get the chance. You're forgetting something. I'm police commissioner of San Francisco. Apart from the fact that George Marion was one of my closest friends, I cannot let anyone handle a murder that took place in San Francisco.
You don't have any choice.
I'm going to give you one, though. Either you give me Elena's address, or you go before a grand jury and tell them everything you know about the death of George Marion.
Well, I can't do that, can I? Blow the cover on the whole operation.
The plane ride to New Mexico is not so bad. It's the car ride after that's tough on the kidneys.
Are you really sure that this is a road?
It says so on the map.
does the map say now?
The map says here's a creek. We'll have to walk from here. Ha. You okay?
Uh-huh. I was a Girl Scout, you know.
You were?
Do you suppose she's gonna believe that we just happened to drop by? Oh. Just a nice walk in the country.
You could have stayed home.
Oh, sure it was. You come to visit Matahari.
It's a business call.
Oh, let's just say my mother didn't raise any foolish children. Besides, you asked me to come with you, remember?
Of course I remember. You said, do you think I should go with you to see Elena Standish? And I said, do you want to go with me to see Elena Standish? And you said...
I'd love to go with you. How sweet of you to ask.
You're right. Your mother didn't raise any foolish children.
Suddenly, I'm not so sure.
Don't move. Here, boy. Here. They gotta be trained in some language. Try your French.
Viens ici, mes petits chiens. Nous sommes des amis.
How's your Italian? Don't move a muscle. If they go for me, maybe dice for the house.
Help! Somebody, please help! Is anybody in there? Please! Spot! Fido! Fanta! Santile! Suissa! Suissa! Stewart McMillan.
Well, I live very simply, but I have everything I need. I have the mountains, time to paint, plenty of solitude. And I have my dogs. They're killers, of course. Trained to Chinese. With names like Spot and Fido, most people try English.
Elena, I'm afraid this is not entirely a social call.
I know that. Otherwise, Mark Erickson would never have told you where to find me.
It's about George Marion. He's dead.
Was it Venice?
Murdered.
Then it was Venice. So many missions betrayed. So many good men. And now Marion. What do you want of me?
What was your conversation with George Marion?
Well, he showed up here one morning and we talked late into the night. Just knowing that Venice was alive seemed to energize him, gave him a mission in life. But he wanted everything I could remember about Venice. Well, I told it all before, Mac. I mean, you know that.
There must have been something.
He wanted a way to identify him. How does one identify a master of disguise who is medium weight, medium height, medium coloring, and with no distinguishing scars, whom one hasn't seen for several years? Russian, British, Arab, young, old, rich, poor. He played all the parts. So, I did these for Marion, ways I had seen Venice, as well as I could remember. This was how he looked when the power station was blown in Nicosia. He escaped to England like this in 1962. But what's the use? He never wore the same disguise twice.
All right, maybe it wasn't the way he looked, but perhaps it was the way he walked, what he ate, something in his lifestyle, where he'd be. You know, you put him on some track.
Lifestyle. It would have to be that. I told George about the last time Venice and I were together. It was in the Café Ben in Mersa Matruh, a place that was reasonably safe for both of us. He'd called me there to say goodbye. For the last time, he said. He was quitting, getting out while he still could. He seemed in good spirits. And it was the first time I'd ever heard him talk about his childhood. His parents were performers in a traveling circus in Middle Europe. Like a carnival in America, I suppose. And by the time he was 15, he could walk wires. He could serve as a catcher for a trampoline act. He could juggle. And he still had a soft spot in his heart for that life. So it struck me that if you wanted to disappear, the traveling show where no one asks your name and everyone minds his business. 2 months later, we heard he was dead, buried at Wadi El Fas.
Mac, George Marion's shoes.
Yes, they had sawdust on them. It suggests that he visited a carnival.
That he'd seen Venice.
But without knowing it. He couldn't recognize Venice, but Venice did recognize George Marion.
And the irony is that Venice admired Marion's work. He often spoke of how brilliant he was. Of course, he recognized you as being the best.
Let's assume for the moment that we've narrowed Venice down to San Francisco. Now, what we need is positive identification. I don't suppose I could ask you to...
Go ahead, ask me.
All right. Would you?
No.
Huh.
I'm out of it now, Mac. I'm an ex-spy. And you know what they say about ex-spies and ex-lion tamers. They never come out of retirement.
Think about it, Elena.
I have thought about it, Mac. And you see, you are still emotionally involved. I'm not. Anymore.
You should be. Because if we don't get Venice, he's bound to get you. Goodbye, Elena.
Goodbye, Mac.
Well, what do you think?
I think your Elena was in love with Venice.
She's not my Elena. And what makes you think that?
Just a feeling I get.
Mm-hmm.
The way she said his name. So personal. You know the last time they met when he told her he was going to quit and disappear?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just his way of telling her that their affair was over. Part of her wants to help find him. Part of her wants to help him hide, Mac.
Prussic acid or a hydrocyanic acid, both terms being interchangeable, and I might add deadly, regardless which word you use. Now, this poison may be easily obtained because it, detective fiction to the contrary, is almost impossible to administer.
Are you saying that Marion...
Because of the pronounced odor and taste of almonds, bitter almonds, makes it easily detectable, comes often to the attention of the police as a result of suicides. Now, on the other hand, arsenic or arsenate of lead may be easily administered only because of...
Sykes!
Sir.
Yes or no? Was Marion poisoned?
Yes, but...
Prussic acid?
Yes, but... if your friend was murdered, sir, now how? How was this poison administered?
It had to be the allergy capsules.
We tested 47 so far. They all had what they were supposed to have in them.
What about the sawdust?
The substance on the deceased shoes?
Yes. It was sawdust.
The commissioner doesn't miss a trick. Very good. But this was not ordinary sawdust, no. It was treated with flame retardant.
Of course. You can't use ordinary sawdust on the floor of a public place.
Exactly. And so treated, you would find it in butcher shops and fish or poultry market, wineries, cheap restaurants.
But this came from a carnival.
Carnival. Commissioner, that's a very good thing. Carnival, I know.
You know the name of it, don't you?
Sure do. Carnivals need permits. So I checked Fairfax, San Francisco, and Marin counties. There's only one. It's called the Bel Habib Carnival, and it's been playing about 3 months out at Crescent Beach.
How about a picture of yourself? Smile. That's it. Terrific. Gentlemen. Smile. Good. If you present this card inside the main tent, you can have a free picture of yourself.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Free? I don't see how they do it.
Well, $1.50 a piece to get in the main tent. That's $3 for a snapshot of you and me. I'll take this way.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? May I direct your attention to the uppermost part of the midway? See Kovacs, the human fly, defy the laws of gravity with his daring acrobatic stunts. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Kovacs, the human fly. One of the world's renowned aerobatic artists. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is.
Come on, step right up. 3 shots, half $1. 3 shots for a half. Come on, step right up. Lady, over here, come on.
Excuse me. You ever seen this man?
3 shots for a half. I only talk to paying customers.
Oh. I should warn you, I'm a pretty good shot.
Terrific.
I'm sorry, Commissioner. That's all I know.
Thank you.
Commissioner McMillan? Commissioner McMillan?
Yes?
I thought so. I recognize you by the picture my daughter Ruth took. I'm Clemente Habib, impresario of this enterprise. You see, in this business, we have to expect visits from the police, and so one trains oneself to recognize them. What can I do for you?
Thank you, but even the commissioner of police can spend an afternoon at a carnival without having an official reason.
Oh, please forgive me. Then the gentleman in the picture with you is not a plainclothesman. Come with me, please.
He was, a couple of days back.
Did you talk to him? Okay.
I ask no questions of those who work for me. I demand only that they do not drink on the job and that they stay out of trouble. I harbor no criminals. I harbor no one.
He talked to me. Yeah, he was a good shot, too.
Well, my apologies. And you see, I assumed that your visit was connected with that of the other man.
Other man?
But since it is not...
I didn't say that. I am interested in how you knew somebody might be hiding here.
Well, now you know.
The other man?
Yes, his name was what? George Marion.
George Marion's dead. Murdered, which I'm investigating. I'd like your cooperation.
You?
When was he here?
Several days ago.
He was here twice.
Did you take his picture?
Yes, I probably still have it. Should I get it?
Later. What did he want?
Information. You know, the people with the show, how long they've been here, where they worked before. I'm afraid I wasn't very helpful, you see. Our personnel department is, well, rather informal.
Meaning you hire off the street?
Exactly. I gave him a list of the people, indicated those who had been with us many years. I think he talked with everyone. Ruth here, she accompanied him on most of the interviews.
Yes, he seemed most interested in the people that joined us recently, and he took notes. I'm sure he checked.
Did he take any pills?
Wait, he did when he was interviewing Aldo.
Who is Aldo?
The knife thrower.
I'd like to talk to him.
I'm sure that could be arranged, considering that he's been listening to every word we've said to each other. Isn't that right, Aldo?
Ah, did you call me maestro?
Yes, Commissioner McMillan would like to ask you a few questions.
Please, anything.
When George Marion questioned you the other day, did he take any pills?
2. It was awful. All of a sudden, he starts wheezing and sneezing. I thought he was going to die on the spot. Allergic to fur, he tells me, and here I am breaking in my new act. Aldo the Aborigine. Some guys got no luck, Commissioner.
Did the pills help?
Yeah, come to think of it, I think they did. Of course, he was still wheezing when he left, but he was alive.
Thank you very much.
Anytime, Commissioner.
Step right this way, ladies and gentlemen. See the wonders of the universe. See Bertha, the bearded lady. Marvin Ledoux, the man with 2 noses. See the human fly defy the laws of gravity with his spectacular acrobatic feats. See Sammy Lee, the seal boy. Neither man nor beast. He walks, he talks, he crawls on his belly like a reptile. Hurry, hurry, hurry. See Gilbert the Great. Astound you with amazing defeats of Ledger Devane. See Mongo, the strange creature with the long dangling arms. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Yes, the man on the balcony after Marion got killed.
Well, I'll put out a bulletin on it.
Brawny, bald man with a mustache. We can hold our line up at Candlestick Park. We need a picture.
Yes, sir. Hey, how about Habib's daughter?
Yes, odds are she has a photo, Mr. Mustang.
Yes, sir. Now, listen, there are 2 things.
Yeah.
You should talk to a Father Reagan at St. Barnaby's Church. It's right across the street from the main entrance. It seems that he's sort of the unofficial chaplain for this outfit.
And the other thing?
Can I lock this in the trunk of your car?
I'll help any way I can. But as to the background of the people in the carnival, I've only been here 3 months myself. I was abroad before that, a series of missions, Far East mostly. But I did talk to your friend, Mr. Marion. He struck me as an unhappy man, driven, obsessed. He was killed, you say?
Yes, 3 days ago.
Oh, yes, the man in the hotel. I read about it, but I didn't think... When did he die?
Early evening, about 7:30.
7:30, I may have been the last person he talked to. It was nearly 7 when he left here. I suppose that puts me down as a... What's the term? A possible?
What did you talk about?
Well, he told me everything that you've told me about his search for the missing man, and he gave me some biographical detail on some of the people in the carnival, asked if I could confirm it.
Did you?
Well, as far as I knew, it was accurate.
Did he take any pills while he was with you?
Oh, my, yes. He was wheezing, eyes running. He didn't have to tell me he was allergic. And he was poisoned. Could it have been the pills?
We're looking for a special needle in an untidy haystack. We need somebody who's seen Venice.
You need me because I've seen him. I know that, Mac, but...
I'd arrange it so you'd be protected. He wouldn't have to see you. Well, nothing is perfect, Elena. You're not perfectly safe right now.
I'm a good deal safer than I would be doing another job. And that's what you're talking about, isn't it? A job. A safe one? What we used to call a piece of cake?
You're right, Elena. It's too risky. In all honesty, when it was over, when we had him in custody, he'd know who did it anyway.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I did an unfair thing in asking you. We'll find him, somehow. And when it's over, I'll call you and let you know what he's been doing, where he's been living, and with whom.
You're sure I would be safe?
You'll be safe. Well, not perfectly safe. Sergeant Enright will be there to meet you in the morning and escort you back. Goodbye, Elena.
She's coming here. How did you manage that?
You were right. She did have an affair with Venice. He ended it. A woman and a faithless lover. 2 emotions to work on, and I used both.
Jealousy, and what was the other one?
Curiosity.
C-U-R... Curiosity, it fits. Aren't you supposed to be calling Sergeant Enright?
Coffee, sir. Would you like more coffee?
You know, Miss Standish, I sure would have liked to have known the commissioner in those days. I mean, I bet he was really something.
There's some information, Sergeant, that never gets declassified.
Yeah, I guess not. But I sure would have liked to have known him in those days. Not that it isn't a privilege to know him now, but I sure would have liked to have known him. Excuse me, do you mind if I try to catch 30, 40 winks before we land?
No, please do. I'm a little tired myself.
Sir, you'll have to deplane now.
Oh. Where's the lady who was seated next to me?
Everybody else deplaned 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that's impossible. How could I have... coffee? Who served me coffee?
I must have wine.
No, I didn't see the face, but her fingers were longer and she had dark nail polish.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
Of course you're not mistaken. The question is, where have they taken her?
They? Venice or Erickson?
Erickson. If it was Venice, you'd be dead. Where's the boss, Rita?
Boss? I'm the boss. My name's Betty Jane Morrison. You want to see some ID?
Commissioner McMillan's office.
Sergeant Enright, I want you to send a detail over to the Panama Club in North Beach. I want this place padlocked.
What?
The liquor license does not reveal the name of the true owner.
Commissioner, is this you?
And call the press room. Send some people over. I got a big story for them.
Forget it, Mike.
Forget it, Emily. Where is she, Mark?
She's one of ours, Mac. We're responsible for her security.
You
as a
want me to
matter of
arrest
law.
you?
On what?
Obstructing a criminal investigation. No, you don't want me to arrest you, so you're going to tell me where she is.
Let's talk a deal.
No deal. I want full cooperation between your people and my police department.
Well, that's a deal, isn't it? Okay, the Regency. When do you want to see her?
In about an hour.
All right, I'll be there to let you in. Now, look, I'm still in charge of security, or all bets are off.
I rushed these photos over from the lab as soon as possible, sir. They're pictures that Ruth Habib took at the carnival.
Thank you.
I'm truly sorry about losing Miss Standish on that airplane, sir.
Charlie, I allow the excuse of drugged coffee on an airplane. Just once.
Thank you. Here's George Marion, sir.
Couldn't be anyone else. You saw him at the staging area.
Right.
Mr. Mustache? Do you know him?
Yes.
Who is he?
I don't know. I'm gonna meet Elena. Run a check on this photo.
Right.
Mrs. McMillan, I have 3 weapons, and I can kill you in less than a second without using any one of them. Now, I'm going to let you go. Don't scream. Where is he?
My husband? Well, he's at the office, I guess.
He's gone out. Where? Come on, he's wherever they're holding Elena Standish, isn't that right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I suppose so. He didn't tell me where that was. He doesn't tell me his business problems. I guess he thinks I'm not interested. Isn't it just like a man?
You're telling the truth, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I am interested in his business.
I mean, you really don't know where he is. But you will soon. I'll bet he calls you every afternoon. It'd be crazy not to. I'll wait.
Isn't this a rather unusual place to hide somebody?
Well, the police schools recommend the out-of-the-way flea bag, but that's baloney. Give me a class place every time. A hitman sticks out like a midget at a football banquet. I've got her in a corner room. I've got a man walking the hall. That's 2 walls to the outside, 1 to the hallway, and 1 to the room next door.
Yours?
Of course.
Well, it's only fair to warn you. My housekeeper has a violent temper, and there's no telling what she'll do when she comes in and finds you here.
Your housekeeper's on vacation this week.
Yes, that's right. She's at her sister's. She always goes to her sister's when she's on the wagon. You see, her sister doesn't allow a drop of liquor in the house. That's the danger. That's what I'm trying to warn you about. There's no one more violent than Mildred when she's on the wagon. I suppose that doesn't scare you very much.
It's an animal wagon. Identical to the real thing as far as size, shape, floor drain, and even the smell. We cleared it with Habib, had it repainted to match his equipment. Nobody will give it a second glance. Now, there is one modification. With this window, you'll be able to see everybody through it, but nobody will be able to see you. It's a window from the inside and a mirror from the outside. And it's even bulletproof.
I don't know, Mac. Venice is a genius at disguise, and I haven't seen him for years.
You may not be able to recognize him, but still you might be able to help by simple process of elimination.
I suppose since Mark went to so much trouble to kidnap me, we're going to have to make it count for something, huh?
Would you like a drink? A glass of water? A sandwich? How about a game of 20 questions?
How about a little quiet?
Right. A little quiet.
It's a good plan, Mac. You should never have left the organization.
But? Yeah, but. Has it occurred to you that we might be looking for somebody who doesn't exist? Suppose Venice is dead.
Then who killed Marion?
Maybe. Just maybe. Marion killed Marion. All right? So Venice isn't buried where he's supposed to be. Well, there have been phony graves before, but that doesn't prove that somebody's alive. But Marion wanted the satisfaction of taking Venice. Now, when he found out there was no Venice...
No.
Prussic acid is a suicide's weapon.
What about the man on the balcony?
Ordinary sneak thief. He came in, saw the body, ducked out when you came in.
Then why the message with the Venetian blind? He was trying to tell us it was Venice.
Mac is right, Mark. When Marion spoke to me, he was not despondent or unhappy or in despair. He was just certain.
Sure. But when his certainty went wrong, then for him, everything was wrong.
Mark, the Venetian blind.
I've been thinking about that. Now, you know that Marion was always a joker, always the life of the party. But maybe he wasn't playing with a full deck. Now, if he killed himself because he found out that he was wrong, it'd be just like him to go out with a joke that'd convince us he was right, just to keep us puzzling for years.
I say we go on looking till we know, one way or the other.
Okay, when do we go snooping?
I think it should just be Elaine and me.
Just like old times.
And Sergeant Enright. He'll ride shotgun.
Mac, I can't give up my responsibility.
You're responsible here. I'll be responsible there. Let's not scare Venice off with a platoon of agents.
All right.
I'll pick you up at 6. That ought to get us to the carnival about 7. Doesn't give us much time. May I use your phone?
Be my guest.
Wait.
Hello?
Hi, honey.
Oh, Mac, I'm so glad you called. You didn't forget about Mildred's graduation tonight, did you?
Huh?
From her cooking class. Tomato and olive aspic.
Well, I don't think so. I'm with...
Oh, Mac, Mildred will be heartbroken.
I'm with...
Well, you'll just have to do the best you can.
Okay. There's an outside chance.
Good.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, I'm no mind reader. Where is it?
Oh. Oh, it's at the Epicure Club.
Oh, terrific. I'm at the Regency right across the street. I'll be right with you. I gotta go. Goodbye.
I love you too, darling. Goodbye. That wasn't fair. He only told me where he was because I happened to mention the name of that place across the street.
Mindy, I'm in a hurry and I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. You haven't heard the fever. I'm going to admit, I don't want to put you in any extra trouble.
Father Regan?
Commissioner, what a pleasant surprise.
Is it?
Is it what?
Either one. Pleasant or a surprise. What are you doing here?
Well, I don't know that I'm required to account for.
Not required, Father, but it would help.
I've been with the banquet manager, Mr. Kelso, about a benefit dinner for St. Barnaby's. The carnival people have generously offered to furnish the entertainment.
How long has this been planned?
Oh, all very last minute. I'm not the best organized man in the world. By the way, how's your investigation? Do you still believe your friend Mr. Marion was murdered?
Do you believe otherwise?
Well, it occurred to me that perhaps Mr. Marion found the man he was looking for.
And didn't turn him in?
Is it possible that he found his man and killed him?
It's possible. And then what?
The joys of vengeance are almost solely those of anticipation. Afterwards?
Suicide? Father, no offense, but I've had a law enforcement man tell me Marion may have killed himself because he didn't find Venice. Now you're trying to tell me that he killed himself because he did find him. Now, I'm not looking for a suicide motive. I'm looking for a murderer.
Hello, operator. Please dial the Regency Hotel for me.
The what?
The Regency Hotel.
That number can be reached by direct dialing.
Yes, I know, but I can't dial. I'm tied up.
We're all very busy. But if you wish me to dial for you, very well.
Thank you.
What is the number, madam?
I don't know the number.
The number can be obtained from your telephone directory.
Yes, I know, but I can't reach my telephone directory.
If you are in need of additional directories, your
Operator, will you get me information?
furnish you. Directory assistance, dial 411.
I can't dial 411. I can't dial anything. You will have to dial.
Do I understand, madam, that you wish me to dial 411 for you?
Operator!
Mrs. McMillan! You must be seeing things. You know, I thought I was sober.
Call the Regency Hotel.
What? Call the Regency Hotel.
Oh,
First, I'm going to call the police. No, call the Regency Hotel. Mac is there with Elena Standish.
You're right.
This is no matter for the police. We'll handle this in our own way.
Yes, Father Regan's function. Citrate segments, top sirloin of beef.
How long has this been planned?
It started just this morning. Frankly, I'm against it. The thought of all those carnival types dribbling sawdust through our lobby. They never learn to
Hey,
wipe their
that's
shoes.
for me.
If you don't mind, the house phone's over there. I'm expecting a phone call from a wedding party. Chicken Veronique, risole potatoes, peas au gratin, and chocolate chip ice cream. Chocolate chip.
Hi, Sally. Of course I knew it was you. What?
Mac, it's Selena. She's been stabbed.
I'll call you right back. You're sure you're all right? Okay. She alive?
It's a nasty wound, half-inch deep, I say.
I told you I was going on the wagon. When I come home and find you like this, I wonder if it's worth it. Boy, I could use a drink.
No, Mildred, you've gone 4 straight days without a drink, haven't you?
I've been at my sister's 4 straight days, haven't I? And straight is the word, believe me.
4 days. That must be some sort of a record for you. I thought you said you were going to be gone all week. How come you came back? Couldn't you take it?
Oh, listen, I had to get out of there. It wasn't the drinking. I mean, I was doing fine. But I couldn't listen to my sister sober. You know, it's funny. When I was drinking, I always thought she was so amusing. She sounded just like me.
She didn't sound like you this time?
No, that was the depressing part. She still sounded exactly like me. Only nothing she said was funny.
Lucky. I just missed the rib cage, the lungs. An inch to either side, a little deeper. You understand, a wound of this sort, I must report.
You just did. I'm Commissioner McMillan.
Of course. Look, she's quite all right, but I'd recommend against any strenuous activity.
We'll take good care of her. And, Doctor, I'd appreciate it if you didn't report this to anyone else.
Yeah, no worries. Bye.
Elena?
How do you feel?
Weak, but lucky.
How did it happen?
Well, I was next door, and she was dressing, and I heard a thud and a moan. When I got in here, she was on the floor, next to the window on her side, and that was in her back. Now, you may want your guys to check prints on that.
Yeah.
She said that while she was dressing, she saw something.
Let me.
No, you're supposed to.
No, I can tell you. While I was dressing, something flew past the window and dropped, like a body, or as though someone had jumped or fallen from above. So I did what anybody would do. Any fool. I went to the window and I looked out. Now, I must have heard that knife coming because I remember turning, and then I think I passed out.
We got her on the bed, and then I called the doctor. Then I had the sidewalk checked below. Nothing. Now, if something like a hotel pillow was thrown from up above, a passerby must have walked off with it.
What about the rooms above?
Well, the room directly above is occupied by a salesman from Cleveland, but he appears clean. He was out.
And further up?
There is another floor, but it was vacant. There doesn't seem to have been anybody in there.
But it must have come from one of those rooms.
Well, it doesn't prove that someone didn't go in, does it?
Well, the guy that planned this is not going to leave any souvenirs.
That's what I mean.
The carnival.
No, we can take care of that in a day or two.
No, tonight. Don't you see? He doesn't know whether he's killed me or not. That gives us the advantage. Mark, may I have a moment alone with Mac? Sit down, Mac. Sally told you, didn't she?
What?
That Venice and I... that there had once been something between us.
Oh, and how could she know a thing like that?
I could tell by the way she looked at me. She's a woman, Mac. Women sense these things. And I'm a woman, too, and I know that she knew. She did tell you.
Well, she may have told me a little. I didn't believe her.
Ah, that's a mistake, Mac. You should always believe her. I loved him. God help me, I held him in my arms and I loved him. But it doesn't matter. When George Marion came to ask me for help, I wanted to help him. I knew I should want to help him.
You did help.
Yes. But part of me wanted Venice to escape. She told you that too, didn't she? When is it over, Mac? When does somebody stop loving somebody?
I think when he tries to kill you.
Dear Mac. Cool and clear-sighted as always. Then try to understand that it must be tonight. While I still hate him. Tonight, Mac, please. Thank you.
Now just watch and relax. If you see anyone that interests you, speak up.
Does that apply only to spies?
What about them? Habib, he owns the carnival. The photographer is his daughter.
The father? It's hard to say. A little bit old, but that would be easy enough to do. There's something about the cheekbones.
Yeah, we'll make him impossible.
Haven't you checked out the backgrounds of the people who work here?
As far as we were able. Naturally, Venice would assume the identity of somebody who had to be clean. Kill and impersonate. Let's just concentrate on the physical types. The man with the cape, Kovacs.
I don't think so.
Are you sure? He does a human fly act, probably capable of scaling a hotel wall.
I really don't think so. The hands are different. Smaller.
Scratch Kovacs. What about the man with the sunglasses?
Impossible. Too much jaw.
Scratch sunglasses. What about her, Madame Olga?
A woman?
She's advertised as one.
Well, her records.
We don't know they're really hers. Didn't you say Venice escaped to England, disguised as a woman?
Not that woman.
Scratch the madam. What about them? The one on the left is Aldo, a knife thrower.
No, I think he's too small. And the shoulders, they... Who's that? The man on the right.
I don't know. Yes, I do. It's, Harper. He runs a Ferris wheel.
You see, he's just the right shape. And his head. But the walk is all wrong. There was more spring to Venice's step.
Oh, a man can change his walk.
But why would he, unless he knew he were being observed?
Yes?
Sykes here, Commissioner. I found something extremely important that I think you should see.
Can't it wait?
No, sir, we can't wait. Well, as you always say, you never know when one clue scientifically advanced may be the one clue that will get the job done, as it were. This is it, Commissioner.
All right, I'll be there. My lab man leaves nothing to chance.
Good. Venice leaves nothing to chance either.
I'll be at this number. Lock the door behind me. If you need Sergeant Enright, knock on that wall. And make sure he identifies himself.
Mac, you're mothering me.
I am. I'm sorry.
I haven't lived this long allowing strangers into rooms with no exits.
I assume you won't mind if I worry a little.
No, that'd be good for you.
Oh, please, Mrs. McMillan. You're forgetting my condition. Sober.
Sorry, Mildred. Why doesn't Mac call? Where is he?
Well, since we're asking questions, why don't we start with the big one? Who's he with?
Elena Standish.
Oh, yeah, the former spy. Swell.
He's worried about her. He thinks her life could be in danger.
And you?
I'm worried about Mac.
Good thinking.
Who's the man with a mustache? What does he want? I'm sure that he's following Mac and Elena right now.
Well, I certainly hope so. It's better than being alone together, isn't it?
Mildred.
This is what I raced all the way over here to see? I thought you said you cracked the case.
Actually, the crack is here, sir, in the handle of the knife. This is a Syrian camel skinning knife, possibly Iranian. There's an extensive literature on knives, which I've studied them all.
Sykes.
Sir, would you mind looking at this, please? You will observe that the lead core in the curved handle visibly cracked. A hairline fracture, you might say. True, nevertheless. How do you suppose that happened?
Probably stepped down by an overweight dromedary.
Oh, hardly, sir. I would have been able to detect some part of the animal's hoof. Is the commissioner joking?
The commissioner is not sure. What about the pills?
Oh, I have just finished testing the pills.
Good. What'd you find?
Each contains 27 grams of cellulose, 4.2 gram essence of...
Poison?
No, sir. No poison at all.
Do you mean to say that you called me all the way down here just to show me a crack in a knife?
Well, it's a recent crack and irregularity on the murder weapon. Think of it, sir. Police lab, cite him. Yes. It's for you, sir.
Yes?
Mac, the Ferris wheel man, Harper,
What about him?
he just went by again, and he's walking differently. More bounce. Springy.
Where'd he go?
Well, that's the funny thing. The Ferris wheel is closed, but he went over to it, and I haven't seen him leave. Should I send the sergeant over to look?
No, that would leave you alone. I'll be right over.
saw the wheel stop and go, and I thought it was you.
Elena.
Elena! Elena!
Oh.
Open up!
Are you all right? Was there something by the Ferris wheel?
A dead man. I got my first good look at him. It's Miles Eisner.
But Miles was killed years ago. I mean, we saw.
We thought we saw.
You mean he's been alive all these years and nobody knew?
One person knew.
Maybe I was wrong, but it was necessary. Everybody assumed that Eisner was dead, and that gave me an agent who could work black. The only people who knew that Eisner was alive were Eisner and me. I was his control.
And you couldn't trust me enough?
I don't operate on trust. I operate on need
and
to know.
it didn't bother you all these years?
Of course it bothered me.
Well, not enough to tell me. I have a need to know now.
Eisner found out that Marion was going after Venice, and he was furious, wild with rage. It should have been his assignment. One unknown hunting another. He begged me to take Marion off the job and give it to him. When I refused, he disappeared.
What?
That's right. He broke away from me. I think Eisner followed Marion, thinking Marion would lead him to Venice, and then he could finish off Venice without worrying too much about technicalities.
Because he didn't exist, officially.
When Marion was killed, Miles latched onto you. He must have thought you were getting close.
I wasn't.
You didn't think so. Eisner did. It looks like he was right, doesn't it? You were close.
I get it. Eisner was the man with the mustache. Only you didn't figure it out because he...
Because he lost his hair and grew a mustache.
Right.
And besides, I didn't get a good look at him. Why did George Marion die in a chair?
You'll figure it out, darling.
Figure what out? Assume Venice tried to kill me. Why? Because he thinks Marion told me something? Because I brought Elena here? Something that happened in the carnival? Why did Marion die in a chair?
Going around in circles.
Any questions? Problem is which one to work on first.
Pick one. Flip a coin. Leave it to chance.
My lab man leaves nothing to chance.
Good. Venice leaves nothing to chance either.
Observe the lead core of the curved handle.
Venice leaves nothing to chance.
Mac.
Neither did George Marion.
What are you mumbling about? The last thing I said was flip a coin.
Yes, you did. And I love you. Call Sergeant Enright. Tell him to pick up Aldo, the knife thrower, and bring him to Elena's room quickly as possible. And get the knife from Sykes and bring it along with him. And thanks.
Anytime. Why did George Marion die in a chair?
Nobody can say that.
Just walk right in.
Right off.
Wherever they go.
I mean, this joker just walks in and says, hey,
They're
I'm
people.
getting you straight.
No, they have rights. They have rights.
Quiet!
It's over.
I just wanted to talk to Aldo.
What do you have against him? That he's a knife thrower?
I have nothing against him.
Aldo is not a suspect?
No, I need his expertise. There are no fingerprints on this knife, so we can handle it. Can you throw this knife?
If it's a knife, I can throw it.
Accurately.
It's a very old knife. Made for skinning, I would say, not throwing. Curved handle. Lead-filled, I would say. But it could be thrown accurately. I mean, I could hit a target with it. But the curve and the weight could cause the knife to flip over in flight.
Could you control it?
With practice, I could make this knife land point first almost all the time. Say 8 out of 10 throws.
Not good enough.
But I was hit by it. I didn't imagine this wound in my back.
Your wound is real enough. Nevertheless, the knife was not thrown.
What do you mean it wasn't thrown? It had to be thrown. She was alone in the room. Are you saying that somebody got through my security and then walked out again? Are you saying I did it?
If anybody threw the knife, It was Venice. But nobody could be sure the knife would land point first. As Elena reminded me, Venice leaves nothing to chance. Venice did not throw the knife.
The knife was not thrown.
Then how did Elena get that?
The attack on Elena came rather late in the game. Let's back up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Sergeant.
Sir?
You up to a little role playing?
Anything in sight, sir.
Right. Your name is George Marion. You are alone in your room at the Sands Inn. You've just swallowed prussic acid, but you don't know it yet. You take it in a capsule. When you feel it, you'll know what it is. You feel it. You now have 30 seconds left to live. You now realize a spy named Venice poisoned you, and you know who Venice is because you know who had access to your capsules. You grab for a pen on the table. But it won't write. Your friend McMillan is due any minute. So how can you get a message to him that'll implicate Venice?
Venice. Venice. Venetian blind.
Very good. Now, take a look at this. You fell on the floor, but Marion's body is sitting in a chair.
Well, I did exactly what you told me.
And you were perfect.
So Marion is seated in a chair.
And the Venetian blind is on end.
Not only that, but his body is braced up against it, so it'll stay that way. Now, why go to all that trouble if the message was Venice did it?
That wasn't the message.
Not all of it. The Venetian blind represents Venice. And it was on end. Upright.
Venice is upright?
Pretty close. Mark, it works in English. But remember that funny fractured German Marion used to use? Venice is on end. Upright. Standing up. Venice is standing.
Venice is standing. Venedig steht.
No, fractured.
Venice standish is. Venice is standish.
That's right. Venice is Elena Standish.
Mac, that's the worst joke since George Marion changed the washroom signs at Russian Secret Intelligence. You are serious?
There never was a Venice. You created him years ago when you became a double agent. When your missions were betrayed, sold out, you blamed it all on Venice, a man only you had seen.
I don't believe you're saying this. I mean, it's ridiculous. And there's no way to prove it, one way or the other. I mean, you know that.
Your creation of Venice was brilliant. It assured you of perfect retirement with honors. All of your missions were successful except for the few he betrayed, which, of course, nobody would blame on you. So with no further need for him, you let us believe he had died. Unfortunately, Marion discovered the corpse was a phony and set out after Venice. You couldn't let that go on, could you?
Why not? What could he find? He was looking for a man who didn't exist.
Marion was a skillful agent. If he'd looked long enough, he'd realize he was looking for a... What was it he used to say?
A tall, short...
Yeah. No, a tall, thin, short, fat, bald man with curly hair. Marion used to say that if you start looking for him, you better give a hard look at the people giving the description. He'd have figured it out. He'd have reached that point.
So I killed George Marion. He died in San Francisco while I was in Taos, but I killed him? How? Oh, I know. I flew in on my broomstick and I told him that the pills were candy.
When you found out he was after Venice, you knew you'd have to kill him. So when he came to your place, your dog set him to coughing and sneezing, and he had to take one of his pills, and it all fell into place for you. You got a hold of his capsules and put poison in one of them.
Oh.
Now, wait a minute. She couldn't have known when he'd take it.
All the better. She'd given him a lead to Venice that guaranteed him a tour of every carnival in the country. They all have animals. So he took his pills, and by, he took the one that counted, far away from her.
And the suspects would be carnival people?
Of course.
You're not taking this seriously, are you?
How did she get the knife in her back?
Oh, I'm surprised at you. I thought every intelligence man knew that trick. Incidentally, this is the part that cracked the knife handle. Now, this part takes real guts. She backed into this, released the door, and walked to the window with a knife in her back. Something like this.
That's quite enough. I want to see everybody's hands at all times. And I do hope I don't have to demonstrate the alternative.
As one professional to another, Elena, you've got the wrong hostage. I mean, if I were escaping, I'd take with me a high police official. He wouldn't scream or get hysterical. And I would, in effect, have the opposition commander under my control.
Are you volunteering? I assume you will be kind enough to call and remove your operatives from the lobby.
Where to, Elena?
Cab to the airport.
Then,
You charter a plane.
to take us where?
You don't have to say where. You're the commissioner. It's an emergency.
That's right. You won't have to name a destination until the plane's in the air. Then where? If you were an agent for a foreign government, probably be a boat waiting for you in some lonely harbor or another plane waiting somewhere. But you've got no homeland to go to. It's only a question of which country will put you in prison for life, or which country will execute you.
Keep moving, Mac.
No,
I'll kill you.
you're gonna do that anyway, aren't you? If it isn't here, it'll be someplace else, probably with a lot of people around. At least here, there'll only be one more casualty. But remember, once you've killed me, you've got no hostage. And that leaves Erickson's men free to kill you, probably before you get out of the lobby.
You knew how all this would end, didn't you? You planned it, Mac. All of it. Getting the people to look at the knife. Giving me the chance to. And you tricked me.
Let's face it, it's over. You're a spy with no cover. You've got nowhere to go. It's all over.
Well, I told you you'd figure it out. There's only one thing that I can't figure out. Usually when you figure it out, I can figure out how you figured it out. Only this time, I can't figure it out.
Okay. What can't you figure out?
Well, Elena killed Eisner. How did Elena kill Eisner? I mean, she was sealed in the animal cart and he was at the Ferris wheel.
Easy. She wasn't sealed in. The world was sealed out. When you're protecting somebody, you guard against break-in, not break-out.
Yes, but Enright would have seen her walk out the door.
That was a real animal cart we used. Had a drain in the floor. All she had to do was lift the grill off, climb out from underneath. She got back in the same way.
I never could have known that.
You know, when we were at her house, she lied to us. I should have had it, but you almost got it.
I did. You mean when she told us about that last meeting with Venice?
A spy never tells another spy when he's retiring.
But I told you that it wasn't spy to spy. I told you that it was man to woman.
Makes it all the more unbelievable. When a man ends a love affair, he doesn't go to all of that trouble to arrange a meeting with the lady. He goes to all that trouble to avoid it.
You know you're right.
Of course I'm right.
How did you know all of that?
Oh, in my younger days,
Yes.
I was an insatiable reader. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
How did you know I was right?
Well, in my younger days,
Yes.
I think we read the same books. Look at this.
Open the door! Well, that's from a window pane, all right?
Yeah.
But you didn't hear or see anybody fall? Commissioner, I'm handling the traffic. And with the noise that drill is making, I can hardly hear you. What did you say? I can hardly hear you. But if a man did fall from that building, where's the body?
Well, maybe he landed on a ledge or a parapet.
No, ma'am. It's a straight drop from the top to the bottom. Straight up.
It just doesn't make sense. Nobody jumps from a building and doesn't land. Not even Billy Cohn.
When we were law partners, I saw him pull a few tricks that came close, but this tops them all.
You think it's a trick?
Well, whatever it is, it must have something to do with what happened last night, or
The
at least
airport?
begins. Yes, at the airport.
Well, I've got it all down, sir, and it still doesn't make any sense. If he fell out of the window, then where's the body?
That, Sergeant, is what we are trying to find out.
Did you find anything?
Oh, no. Nothing.
Well, it's lunchtime. How about treating an old friend?
I'd like that. Only don't let Sally know. Our housekeeper is preparing a special dinner for tonight. Demands that my palate remain unsullied.
I'm very good at keeping secrets. You know that.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
You always lock the outer door?
Billy doesn't like to see anyone unannounced.